This is music attorney Randy Ojeda. As an attorney, I've helped artists and bands secure hundreds of thousands of dollars in advances, and I've collected even more money in unpaid royalties owed to songwriters and producers. I've negotiated licensing deals, label deals, publishing and management deals, and so much more. And right now, I'm offering a free initial consultation for all artists because I truly believe that all musicians should have access to quality legal services. So find out what my firm can do to help your music career. Head to randyojedalaw.com and book a free consultation now. Welcome to Cigar City Radio. I'm your host, Randy Ojeda, making the magic happen, Mr. Jason Solanas.
Have you ever experienced you have legitimate concern for the structural integrity of your skull when they drop on them?
I'd like to say I have. Yeah. You know, I think I have experienced that, actually.
I'm glad you experienced that.
Yeah. It's pretty
Use
good.
them as earmuffs. Man.
Okay.
Our guest on this episode is Tampa-based Afrobeats artist Pusha Preme. Described by Randy as the hardest working artist in Tampa.
I have described him that way, yeah.
Preme is selling out venues locally and has charted on the Billboard and iTunes charts in multiple countries, while opening for artists like G-Eazy, Jadakiss, and UGK. Beyond music, he is known for his philanthropic efforts, actively participating in charity events, and using his platform to make a positive impact on his community.
Pusha Preme's for the kids. It's for the children.
Gotta be for the kids, man. That's our future. Catch Pusha Preme performing Friday, February 16th at Gasparilla Music Festival in Julian B. Lane Park in downtown Tampa, and stream his new album, Heroes Eventually Die, on your preferred music platform.
Or get it on Bandcamp.
Definitely get it on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get in where you fit in, but support the artist, man.
Yeah. But still stream, because, you know, streaming numbers, they help.
Yeah, they always help. Yeah.
You know.
You gotta play the algorithm game, babe.
Yeah. It's true. So here it is, Pusha Preme. All right, we are with the masked legend, the masked assassin, whatever you want to call him, Billboard P, Pusha Preme. How you doing, Preme?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. How you doing?
Doing great, living the dream, man. So you were performing Friday, February 16th at Gasparilla Music Festival. And, you know, I want to quickly address the elephant in the room. You were supposed to perform at Gasparilla Music Festival last year, but the unfortunate happened, right?
Yeah, the storm. I mean, safety first, you know. It was a shame because Run the Jewels was going to be there as well, too. And, you know, we wind up making it, you know, taking lemons and making lemonade. We did the after party at Lit Cigar Lounge. We performed. Everyone enjoyed it. You know, thank you for KP. She got us set up over there at the new hotel that's over there. Like, I think it's Hotel Tampa or... It's right there by the Domino's, but it's, you know, the brand new hotel that that's just remodeled. Yeah. And, you know, they gave us a free room. They took care of us. So it wound up working out. And it was a good team building process too. You know, Dejanay came here from Texas. She flew here. Jay Brown was there. You know, Fabian was there. You know, the whole gang was there. So it was still dope. We still made the most of the night.
Yeah. I mean, we were really looking forward to your performance, but, you know, very happy to see that you are on this year's festival. You know, yet again, round 2. Hopefully there's no storm, no issues, and you can perform without a hitch. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that performance for sure.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, I think it's going to go really well, to be honest with you. I think that the stars are online now. We have you know, I didn't have dancers before, so I have my dancers now. We didn't have a shredder. Now I have my drummer. Before it was Caleb, but now I have my drummer, Trev. You know, Trev is like, you know, in my opinion, the best drummer in Tampa and Sarasota. So we have him now. You know, we have a better bass player. Not to say that Justin's not a great, I love Justin's bass, but this guy is like, he's like funk based. We just want to kind of just make sure that people kind of like recategorize us from like the rap market into like the Afrobeat market, or just into dance or reggae, because that's really majority of what the catalog is, right? So
Yeah.
I think be prior to, if the musicians are kind of limited and have to let the backtrack and do some of the work, then it kind of like makes it seem like more like Preem with the band instead of being the roots, and I want to be recognized like the roots.
Yeah, no, I mean your band. I mean, I've seen you live a few times, and every time I'm always impressed by the musicianship of the band. So if you're telling me that you're kicking it up a notch for GMF this year, that's super exciting.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have we're doing our therapy set. This is probably going to be the last one before I do a new set that we're going to put together. So, now we're going to take the show to like a whole new level. Now, we're going to start integrating the light system, bringing the projector on stage so people can kind of like read the words. My goal is to kind of like the same approach that churches take when they have church on Sunday and they have that big concert. I want to have that same thing moving forward for all of our shows, so they can just get the experience out of it.
That's really cool, man. I definitely can't wait to see that. So I definitely want to get into the new music, new album, Heroes Eventually Die, and talk about the therapy set. But before we get into everything, I just kind of want to get some background on who Pusha Preme is and who you are,
Mhm.
and first off, where are you from? I know you're not originally from Tampa.
No, no, no. I'm from New York. I'm first generation African. My family's from Sierra Leone, from like probably like 17 generations down.
When did you move to Tampa?
In the 2000s, early 2000s, and then I left, went back to New York, and I came back to Tampa officially in 2015.
Right on. And when did you start the actual Pusha Preme project?
I would say that was going to be in 2015. In 2009 is when like I was doing it, but I wasn't doing it to this extent. It's more so I wanted to just be very theatrical on stage when it came to the song. So if I had a song about like my heart being broken, I would like dress up as a mummy and then do it like that. Because I'm a huge fan of Michael Jackson, and I loved how he used to bring the sets to life. You know what I'm saying? Like Moonwalker and Thriller and stuff like that. So um, from 2009 on, I was with Nova, so it was kind of hard to do both, because if Nova wasn't in that kind of mood, then it's like I can't really do it, right?
Right.
So there's always things that kept in the back of my mind, put in my sketchbook, things of that nature. So when I came here, I wanted to make music anonymously because I didn't want it to our breakup, or our small separation to affect our brotherhood in any way. I saw what happened to the Clips. I saw what happened to all these bands that kind of like split up for whatever reason, and it's always like bad blood, turmoil. People like talk crap and stuff like that. I didn't want that. Plus, like my kid was in high school, so I didn't want to be the father that was rapping and stuff like that. Um,
Oh, come on. What's wrong with
so
being the father who's rapping?
no, I mean at the time in high school, I just didn't want to have no distractions for her. I just wanted her to graduate, and I
Yeah.
and I felt like I was already being selfish, spending all that time in New York doing music, and then coming to visit every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
doing it that way, and I wanted to prove that it was never about like Nova's stardom. It was always about the music, what I'm saying, regardless of what anybody says. Because people used to say, like, oh, you're not going to make it without Nova, what I'm saying, stuff like that. So I was like, no, like the creative always wins, because that's why we're doing this. We're doing this to create, we're doing this to bring people into our world, you know what I'm saying? So I just, started making a mask to kind of like describe what I was going through in life or in music. And then now it just turned into something to where now we do it for every project.
Yeah. So I mean the mask is kind of just a way to stay anonymous, right? Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's that, and it's just the expression of like what I'm going through, right? So some people do it with like a haircut. Some people do it with like an outfit or like a scarf. For me, I do it, with these preems, that people identify as masks. So I just see it, for me, it's just like watching Preem grow up. It's like he's going through his pubescence, like he's going through puberty in one era. He's going through his like Benjamin in another era. Now, then I had, my grandmother, and I was like really into Frida. So that was, what I'm saying? I just want to make sure that people can actually like be a part of me as much as they can. Sometimes you only get so much when you're listening to the music.
Yeah, no, I can see how the masks and the changing, evolving mask can be a direct expression of that. That's incredible.
Hmm.
So my first introduction to Preem was I think in 2020, when Adam and Eve first released, I believe on the album Before I Say I Do. Um,
Hmm.
but for
That's a
me,
good
it
album.
wasn't. It's a great album. But for me, I feel like it didn't all really come together, for me as a fan and a listener until Red October. I think that was for me the Cream's real coming out party, you know.
Mm.
Um, why don't you take us back to, that release? I know you've had a lot of success with Outside. I believe today is Tom G's birthday, the day that we're recording this, and he, was featured on the DJ Dempsey version of Outside. So, you know, was Red October really that coming out party for you, or am I off base with that?
I would say Before I Say I Do, only because it was like the first time the project was not predominantly like heavy rap focus. It was more melodies. And
Mm,
then Red October was just trying to like feel like I still need to do the rap thing because I enjoyed the culture of rap, but then still integrate the melodies as well too. And then everything we did for Before I Say I Do was like it was me, Vaughn, and Steven, and we used to like have a group chat, talk about it, move songs around. Then, we brought some other people in as well too, Angel and Lennon, and then they would, that one was like because I had so many people involved. That's why I felt like it was like the coming out because you had Adam and Eve, then you had Better Than
right.
Yourself, then you had They Say They Love You, then you had Party Time, then you have Calling Me Back, then you had Activision, and we did Activision during the time where it was like everything was going on in the city with the Black Lives Matter and Franco and the bottle situation and stuff like that. So everything was just like on point with time. And I read October. Red October just shows like that was like my like I see why you say what you said. That's like my Tampa will win project because I had so many features. I had Indy, Bruce Wayne, DTG.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there
Yeah.
was so many features from people in the city that was actively working. So that one, bet Quentin and Indy were from Sick of These Games. So I think the
Yeah.
diverse songwriting, I would say, yeah, would be Red October. But I think the most slept on one is Hate to Say Goodbye, because that one is just like that's why I was able to kind of like bring in a lot of the electric rage side, which I came to Tampa with. That was like how I was introduced with Yism, and then I was mixing that with like the melody. So I was like, oh, like I think my purpose is to get signed to Cactus Jack. And I'm going to make a project so that these guys can hear it and then put me on. And during that time, Don Tolliver was popping up, Sheck West and all that. So I'm like, oh, they're looking for people. Like, here goes my time.
Yeah.
But this one, with Heroes Eventually Die, I think that's like my most complete. Like that's like working with like working with a producer. It's like my most industry album, I would say. And when I say industry, I don't mean it like pop or whatever. It's like we sat here, we created this, we built this from the ground up. These are fresh new ideas. It's not something. It didn't have any intent on me to progress in like the music business. I just wanted to progress as like a musician.
Yeah, and I definitely hear you doing that on Heroes Eventually Dies. So I was fortunate enough to be at a Heroes Eventually Die listening party that you did at Grand Bay Studios. And
Yeah.
for me, that was a really mind-blowing event because, you melded the music with, just the vibes, the party, but there was also a fashion show there, which I was not expecting, so is fashion a part of what you do as well?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Fashion plays a huge part. It gives us like the identity to be able to work with. Like a firefighter, right? Like when it's a firefighter, it's not like the long jackets. It's the protective gear so he can actually fight the fire, right? The boots,
Right.
the helmet, the gloves, and those things are needed for an artist. Like an artist needs to be able to like paint his picture. So, like the Preem hat, that's like the canvas. Now I wear the gloves now, right? So the gloves are kind of like the easel. Like everything needs to be kind of like put together to be able to like provide like an image. And I think fashion plays a huge part. And I wanted to kind of like give people that experience of just like like multiple senses being activated at the same time. So it's like, okay, you're hearing this music, but then you're seeing this like runway show go on. So now you're getting that experience. And the one, I think you went to the other one too that we did at Symphonic.
I
Weren't you
did.
at that one too?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then that one was more so like the tiny desk experience. Is like, okay, live, we're gonna go through these albums, live band. Everyone gets a piece of paper, and you mark whatever your favorite thing is, and you're hearing it right there. So the only thing that about that one, why it wasn't as special as the Red October one, is that the sonically, if I was to do it today, it would be like a million times better. I
Mhm.
wouldn't use like DJ equipment. I would use like the band to kind of do it. But it gave a
Yeah.
tiny desk experience. Like we're in there like drinking champagne, photo booth in the same office that Symphonic like distributes music in. You know what I'm saying? Like how cool is that? Right next to the Tampa Theater. So it's like I like to give these people that like going to Disney, Busch Gardens kind of feeling when it comes to like experiencing something new.
Yeah, yeah. As a lot of people who listen know, I used to work at Symphonic, and you were basically rocking out right at my desk. So, that was fun to see.
Word.
No, I definitely think your listening events really pull the whole thing together. In general, I think you do a lot. You seem to do a lot for the community and a lot of like community activation. So I know, Tampa will win is a big part of your message. I mean, obviously you feel like you've adopted Tampa as your hometown now, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So what are some of the other like community events that you've done and the kind of activism that you've done in within the city?
Oh yeah. Oh, so we have our annual shoe drive that we do every year. The venue is going to vary just depending on like schedule and things like that. And I try to do an event with every show that I do, just a charity event, just to give back because all year long as an artist, we're asking for people to spend money with us, so we could showcase our art. So I just kind of want to just give that back to somebody else, just so we can just kind of keep the community going and not feel as selfish as an artist. I tell a lot of artists is like we can't feel so prideful that what we're doing is like benefiting the world. Like we're just entertainers, right? We're just like the escape from reality for a little bit, or we help you with a mood and your emotions, but we're not building schools. We're not, you know, giving away free IMAX and things like that. We're not doing that, you know what I'm saying? But what we're doing is still important, but don't be so prideful to think that you can't give back, what people are giving you. So we've done that, and now we're working with PDQ. So we're feeding the children. Every Sunday we work with foster care kids. And we just did a PDQ song as well, too. I'll make sure to send you the video when it's done that we just shot. So we're just trying to be a beacon and really just create like a community like funnel to where it's like we here performing, we keeping it safe, keeping it cool, motivating people at the same time though helping others less fortunate.
Oh, I was just gonna say for listeners outside the area, PDQ is a local chicken joint. People dedicated to quality, I believe, is what it stands for, and
Yeah,
they definitely do a lot for the area in addition to serving a great chicken product if you're into that. So
indeed.
so you're working with. So tell me about how this PDQ collab came to be.
Oh man, so we're working with a guy named Fred. I knew him. Fred knows me through Jeff. Jeff knows me through the Cipher, and the Cipher's H. So I used to play basketball with Jeff, and then he got into art, and I always like supported him when he had like a new shirt or a new collab. And his partner was Fred, and he just told him. I guess he told him about me one day, and then he hit me up. He's like, "Hey, I want to do this thing to where you come and you see what we got going on at the PDQ." So I went there. They're teaching kids how to like do multiplication, by using football. They were feeding the kids, and they were like supporting these kids that used to be in AAU. And I know how that is to be in AAU. And like after the games, you kind of want to chill, but maybe your coach don't have enough money to feed everybody, so they're just trying to do what they can. So sometimes you have to go and like do a car wash or whatever. Well, these kids are so small, they can't do a car wash like that. So, you know, um, I told him like, yo, man, let me feed the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got it. So we fed the kids. And I saw like the light in their eye, and I was like, hey, man, anytime the guys need something, let me know. So the guy at PDQ over there on Brandon, he was saying, hey, let me know if we can help you. We can do some catering. And that's when I got him to cater for our listening party. So when he came to the listening party, he was like, oh, like you do this for real, for real. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. I don't, it's just it's just working and just the fans like everyone supports one another, so it's like that kind of ordeal. So it's like, hey, let me know when else you got something else. And then I brought Janabe out there, and we did the same thing. And then Janabe was like, hey, I want to do a song called "People Dedicated to Quality," and they loved the idea. So we did the song, shot the video inside the PDQ, which was kind of weird and cool at the same time. And yeah, now we look to be working with other PDQs that are in Boston, Chicago, and 'cause there's a bunch of PDQs all around the area. I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
now we're just kind of creating this thing to where maybe PDQs may have an open mic, like have like Sid Live out there and play for the holiday. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like the same thing that these bars have. I want them to have like the ability to have that same like kind of open sound there. Because yeah, it's a chicken joint, but it's like these PDQs are huge.
Yeah.
They're like, what I'm saying? They're not like small little like Burger King. They're huge. So they have the spacing for it. So why not? And they care about art and things of that nature. I went there and they have the one on Del maybe has all of our art inside there. They have this like metallic chicken that they made out of like mufflers. So they know what's up. You
Yeah,
know
I've
what I'm saying?
seen
They
that.
really part
Yeah.
of it. So I'm like, why not? Like, well, it's all art. End of the day, whether it's music, whether it's manufactured art, it's still art, and we have to acknowledge that because that's what is going to keep us going. That's what's going to make Tampa special.
Yeah, no, it's a really unique way to get your music out there. I think that's impressive. Real quick, what's your go-to sauce at PDQ? 'Cause I know they're all about the sauce.
Mm, right now, I want to say the PDQ sauce.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
OG PDQ sauce is good. Yeah, I love that. And
yeah.
I'm a big Buffy Blue guy too. All about the
Buffalo
Buffy
Blues
Blue.
fire too.
Yeah, yeah. But
Damn man, they have the sweet sriracha sauce is kind of fire too.
yeah, yeah. Oh, we can go down the list of great PDQ sauces, that's for sure. Going back to Heroes Eventually Die. Um, I know that the album is it would you consider it a concept album
Oh yeah,
or
definitely.
yeah.
I did it because the one prior to it was like a sequel in a sense, and it wasn't intentional. When Hate to Say Goodbye, that was tough because rest in peace, my grandma passed away. So I was gonna just quit doing music because I didn't really have the motivation to keep it going. So what helped out with it was that it's the concept of the fact that it's like it's there to help everybody with the mourning process. Like no matter how much you have to play the hero, there's going to be a time where like you have to stop playing the hero, and just and accept the fact that it's like sometimes you got to be the villain. So I know the quote that they say is like die, be a hero, or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. I do believe that because I've lost so many friends in this business, and it's just like I'm not understanding why I'm losing friends. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm like top 10 in friends. Like I do anything for people. You know what I mean? But it's like you can't help jealousy. You can't help people from having FOMO. You can't save everybody. You know what I mean? So like during the process of that album, right? So I'm trying to get through the mourning process, and then now I'm just dealing with more BS as an artist. And it was I feel like the album kind of depict that from like even like songs like "Think I Need My God" and I don't know I don't know what to do, and Kanye Crazy. Like there's so many things that were just like beating me up on top of the process of me just trying to like really mourn because I didn't get to during that time. We had GMF right after, the Red October right after, Jadakiss right after, Joel Santana. Like we had shows. So I was always on goal. I didn't have no time to. And Angie was pregnant, so it was like
Oh
it was
wow.
just a lot going on during that time. So now I kind of accepted it. I'm just like, okay. You know what? Everyone's hero has to eventually die. Like that was my Mufasa. So it's like coming to terms with it. But then I think about it for everybody, whether it's Kobe Bryant, whether it's somebody that has to retire, like your heroes are always going to have to like clock out. That's what I've learned.
No, that's it's a heavy thought. Yeah, and around the same time that the album came out, I was dealing with the loss of my cousin at the same time. So,
Mm,
the album really felt for
oh, yeah.
me like a great way to, to overcome that. Like, yeah, like you said, songs like "Think I Need My God" and you know, when it comes to you and just all these great tunes that on the surface level are catchy, really really well put together tracks, but have this deeper meaning. for you and for the listeners who take the time to get to that. So
Hmm.
so yeah, kudos to that on Heroes Eventually Die.
And
Um,
then the skits too, like the skits in there are from my mom and all her sisters, which that's their mother that passed away too. So for them, it's just like giving them an opportunity to kind of like use some of the quotes that they heard from her. So all of them have what are they called? Are they called parables? I think it's called. I think
uh,
it's called a parable.
sure.
For the listeners out there, if you know what it is, definitely comment below. But it's like when you have like the moral of the story, but it's like in a haiku form for this particular thing. So that's what they did for
Mm,
each one of the songs. So they heard the songs and they was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, but make sure that however you say it, that you ended off by saying heroes eventually die. And that's these little like haikus that they wrote for each one of them.
really cool.
Then the deluxe version's the wake. So that's what we're gonna start doing now. It's just kind of like start turning the sets into more of like a funeral or like a wake, you know what I'm saying? And then kind of like I'm still trying to figure out how we're gonna do it with the casket and then the dances and stuff like that. But once we figure it out, it's gonna be super cool.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about now. You mentioned early on the therapy set. What exactly is that, and what can fans expect from that set?
So the therapy set, it kind of happened on accident when we first did it, man. And then we just kept it going. So Fabian would do it, and then he already knew what was going on with me. So it's so easy for him to ask questions and ad lib. And he's such a good MC, so it just worked out. And then he wound up having to leave for the army and to transition to Rome. And then when we did it at the Tempest Project building, we won Best of the Bay for therapy set. So I was like, yo, this might be something that we can keep doing. Like I didn't think much of it. I just thought that'd be a cool way for me to be like, this is what this song is about. Because sometimes it's like, well, with our sets, they're so high energy, it's so party, 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 party. Then you don't get a chance to know who I am, and I have to like what I've noticed. I have to explain to people like who I am because of the mystery, because of you don't know who's behind it, so you don't think that I'm just wearing the mask to be, to be stylish. So I have to explain everything during these sets until we get to the point to where I don't have to anymore. So the sets are basically just like going through each song and telling people why I made this album called Heroes Eventually Die and how all the songs play together. And then that my trouble with like, you know, um, you know, um, temptations with infidelity, dealing with pride, dealing with past anger and trauma and things like that, and then just correlating to one song. So Wild Child plays the therapist, and he does a really good job at it. Like he dresses up and everything as well too. He comes with like a notepad, so it's a
Right,
cool.
right.
Like if you guys haven't been to it, we have some of it on YouTube, but definitely just come to a show, and it's something that you will relate to. I had someone cry at a show once, saying that this was something that I needed to hear from somebody else. So I was like, dang, okay, cool. So if it's helping people, then I'm gonna continue doing it.
That's really really awesome to for some. I mean, it's not awesome that somebody cried, but it's awesome that you are affecting the crowd in that kind of way, and people are really really digging it.
Yeah, it's part of just being a service, just providing the service to people.
Right on. And so you're doing the therapy set at Gasparilla Music Festival.
Yeah, we're gonna do it like we're gonna do kind of like a mix. 'Cause I want everyone to have fun and chill. It's gonna be 8:30, so I want to get everybody like rocking and booming. But yeah, we're definitely gonna bring it out there. If I make any audibles, it's still gonna be just as cool.
I've often referred to you on this podcast and on other podcasts as one of, if not the hardest working MC in Tampa, and maybe the hardest working artist I know. Period. So
Thank you, man. I
how,
appreciate that.
how do you keep it going? Like how do you keep juggling all these things that you're doing? It's just you're doing so much. Like what's the secret?
Honestly, I'm just very, very, very passionate, and I just feel like I owe it to myself to just make sure that I get every single person that I come into contact with to at least experience the music. So I feel like I have really good taste in music, and if I have good taste in music and I suggest it to somebody and be like, oh man, that was dope. There has to be like a million other people that do what I do in the reverse. So I just want to make sure that I don't miss up on an opportunity to just showcase this art. And on top of that, it's like, why not? Like I've gotten this far. So many people depend on me. I have to keep going. I have to keep going. I have to, find ways to get this to be something that I know is going to be. You know, I know one day we're going to be like a huge artist. I know one day we're going to be, may not win, but I know we're going to get nominated for a Grammy. You know, we've already been to the BET Awards as like a guest, but I know one day we'll be performing and stuff like that. So none of these things are kind of like, since that energy is already has entered my imagination, I just have to turn it into reality now.
That's super inspiring, and I definitely respect just how much work you put into all this, and the accolades are already there. So obviously we referred to you as Billboard P at the beginning. So you've been you've hit the Billboard charts, you hit the iTunes charts. So what's next? The Grammys, the BET Awards, is
Yeah,
that
I want to get I want to get one from Apple. So I'm just seeing like the kind of things that, well, not Apple, I'm sorry, YouTube.
right?
I want to get a YouTube plaque, and all these things are just kind of like reminders to, so anytime my mom's just like, "Oh, you didn't get me a degree," I was like, "You're right, but I got these things that are just equivalent. Like, I can make just as much money as someone with like a business degree, coming out of college with these accolades that I have." So, these are really good songs. Shouts to the engineers, shouts to the producers, shouts to the experiences of life that allowed me to write these songs, because I owe it to them to make sure that I do my best, I do my hardest in marketing it and getting it out to the masses.
Well, you're definitely doing something right, because I mean you don't get those kind of accolades sitting on your hands.
Yeah, I mean, it's God's work, man. Like, sometimes it's just right timing, and then just listening to him, and think things kind of just like roll and work out. And then of course just sticking to the strategy and stay consistent. That's the key thing.
Consistency, yeah, is super important in this day and age. It's all about, I think Jay-Z said it in his Grammy speech a couple weeks ago, was you just got to keep showing up, and that's the key, is just keep showing up every day,
Every
and
day.
then you're definitely doing that. You're definitely showing up.
Thank you.
Yeah. What can you tell us about what you're working on now? Like, I know Gasparilla is Friday, February 16th. You're going to be, performing around 8:30, you said. But what's beyond that? What's coming up after Gasparilla?
After Gasparilla, then we are bringing Too Rare to the factory March 23rd, and then in April, springtime, we're going to be working with Brandon Gomes, and we're going to be doing a spring break event. Then from there, we're going to just be traveling and just taking a lot of these bookings. So we have some bookings in Toronto, in Maryland, and Los Angeles, and in Orlando. So just kind of like just really just diving into our market and then showcasing our talent.
Amazing. Any new music we can look forward to?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. We're doing a GMF freestyle that we're gonna drop on Monday. I may drop it with our interview that we're having this Saturday with Tone Capone. Just depending on, because we made with a 3D printer, we made like a Doom Preme mashup. So I want to, and I still enjoy hip hop, of course. That's in my veins. That's like the mother, and then Afro's like the father, right? So we want to do things to where we can put like a monthly freestyle out, but that's only going to be in this doom type of environment, and then everything else will be more so in our Afrobeat, Afro pop, that kind of genre. So that's like I can kind of just do both. So I can still get the respect of the artist, but not have to keep playing the like, the confusing game, because someone might never hear me, right? And they'll hear outside and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You mean outside?" And it's just like, well, outside is like that's what I do. But if you want to know who I am and stuff like that, and my sound is this. So I'm just trying to just find balance in that. So um, other than that, like, yeah, every month we're going to be dropping a new video from the album. We're going to continue dropping content. So, just stay tuned, and you guys are going to be in for a treat. I have a great team, and they scheduled this out for the whole year. So we got to have a lot coming.
So where can people find you if they're looking for Pusha Preme online?
Oh, they could just Google PUSHAPREME. We have a bunch of stuff on the web that they could check out. I always recommend YouTube for people if you want to kind of see it for yourself. There's shows on there, music videos on there as well, and interviews like these are on there. Instagram that's the app I use the heaviest. Not too much on Twitter or TikTok or things of that nature, but you definitely find me on there as well too. The team works those accounts, so I'm mostly on Instagram if anybody wants to work, or if they want us to kind of do any collabs, and partnerships, things of that nature. So, I'm always looking forward to doing it. We did the beer collab with Zydeco. We're working with a company named Flip and Fry, so we're going to be designing their boxes and then doing an event with them as well too. So, if you guys Google me, I'm almost positive something positive is going to pop up. Three P's.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, final thoughts. What advice would you give to, an up and coming artist in the area, up and coming artist in the scene, who's just starting out?
I would say make sure you get your business right. Stay focused, stay consistent, write out your plans, and build a team. If you do that, you should be successful. Because and if you can, just get an accountability partner. For me, it's my wife and my best friend Nova in my group chat. So they keep me accountable with everything. If I say I'm going to do something, they're on my butt to make sure I do it. So that helps me stay focused. It helps me not deal with BS. My team helps me with just like congregating events and things of that nature. And the team keeps the visuals going. Hey, content days this day. Like last night, I wanted to see, okay, guys, can we write a song, record a song, edit a song, mix the song, and shoot the video and have it ready in 2 days? And
Wow,
that's what we're doing right now. So if we
that's
can
quite a
do that,
task.
yeah, right. It takes a
Yeah.
lot of people to do it, but we did it. So, now it's like, okay, we can do that. Then we should be able to kind of create on the spot and be able to take advantage of any kind of current event that happens. You know what I'm saying? So if something happens, we run into the president or something, we should be able to speak about those moments right then and there. Like we have to be faster, quicker, and be able to produce the same quality. So that's what I'm holding the team accountable for this year.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's a good point about team building. I think in the music industry, people don't realize it. It really does take a village, man. It takes a lot of people to make this music stuff happen.
Big
So,
facts.
you've definitely known that from the beginning. I know a lot of people on your team, and they're all just as passionate as you are about whatever it is their craft is or whatever it is that they do. So, shout out to Team Preem, if you will. Yeah. So.
Appreciate it.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate the time.
Oh yeah.
If you're listening to this, be sure to catch Pusha Preme February 16th at Gasparilla Music Fest. Follow him
8:30
on
cigar stage.
8:30
Mm-hmm.
Cigar Stage. Oh, there you go.
Oh, no, I'm
Perfect.
sorry. Not cigar. I keep saying cigar. Robert City stage. The
The
Robert
Robert
City
City
stage.
Stage. Okay, I was gonna say if there's a cigar stage, we'll be in on that.
But
Um,
cigar afterwards, man. When we celebrate.
Yeah, we'll celebrate. I will be there. I'm very much looking forward to it. We'll talk again on the record at GMF. So stay tuned for more Push Supreme action. Let's finish this out with a Tampa will win.
Tampa will.
Win.
Tampa will.
Win.
You guys say like you mean it. Tampa will.
Win.
There you go. I love it. I love that.
That's the best I could
Love
do right now.
that.
It's yeah, Tampa will win, man. I appreciate your
Tampa will
time.
win. Anytime. Thank you, Cigar City. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share with a friend.
And now the queen of hearts is dead. I didn't know just how I felt until the dark eyes were on me, and I knew just what was meant to be.
Sorry, I've kind of lost my train of thought now. I'm just thinking about eating PDQ.